Welcome to a nourishing midweek lunch hour conversation with Spokane's newsmakers, thought leaders, and popular entertainers. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Welcome to Spokane Talks Live.
Welcome to Spokane Talks Live. It's the 10th of April. Can you believe we're already in April? Chris Cargill from Washington Policy Center and an STO contributor will be here today. Konis, who is a candidate for Spokane County Assessor, will be here. We'll get a chance to find out what he's about. And Joanne Hyatt will be here to talk about sex ed in Spokane schools. Connor's calling the weather next on Spokane Talks Live.
Hello Spokane, this is Connor from Spokane Talks Online with your 5-day weather forecast. Today it looks to be rainy with a high of 62 and a low of 38. Tomorrow looks to be also rainy with a high of 58 and a low of 38. Thursday looks to be rainy and then it'll clear out with partly cloudy skies with a high of 52 and a low of 34. Friday we can see mostly sunny skies with a high of 54 and a low of 37. And Saturday looks to be partly sunny, going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 58 and a low of 39.
Welcome to Spokane Talks Live. Yes, we're back inside right now. You don't know what the weather's going to be like in Spokane. We got to talk to those weather people out there. You know, some of them just don't know what we want, which is springtime. Hey, one of my favorites, and he brought a guest today, and it's Chris Cargill from the Washington Policy Center, and you brought Miranda Hawkins. Did I get that right?
That's right.
It's not Sadie Hawkins or anything like that.
No, unfortunately.
Okay, I've got it. Well, heck with Chris. Let's go straight to the beauty and the brains here, okay?
Or the brawn. You know.
Well, yeah, but I don't care
brains,
about the
beauty and the brawn.
Yeah, okay. Beauty and the Beast. Okay. All right. What is your job? You just how long have you been with the Washington Policy Center?
So I started in August,
okay.
And my official...
So he's waited this long to bring you in?
Yeah, it took a while.
We're taking the training wheels off.
My official title is Eastern Washington Coordinator and Research Assistant.
All right. So what does that mean? That's a lofty title.
It is. So I wear a couple hats. One of them is to coordinate the Eastern Washington Young Professionals Program.
Okay. And what is that? Because I'm sure we're going to have some young people watching that wonder, what is it and how do I join?
Yes. So Young Professionals is a program WPC created to empower, engage, and educate young people to be involved in the laws being made around them, how they're made, what they're about, and just to be involved in the state.
Good.
To make it a better place to live for the generations to come.
All right, great. So are you enjoying your job?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love working with young people.
He's not listening right. He's not listening
the
right
worst
now.
Part
How's the boss?
Just kidding. No, it's great. It's been a blast.
He is a most knowledgeable person, and that's one of the reasons we invite him in all the
That's
time.
what I'm learning.
Yeah. He tells you weekly, right? Chris, you got something coming up here in about, 5-6 months?
Well, we got 3 big things coming up. And that's part of the reason why we brought Miranda in is to talk about one of the big things we have coming up, and kind of in calendar order here.
Okay, good.
One of the big things we have coming up is our GU Young Professionals debate that we're doing on campus in April.
Oh, okay.
So we'll talk about that first and kind of give Miranda the opportunity to talk about that big event, because it's
and you got some notable people coming too.
Exactly. A big event for our Young Professionals Club at Gonzaga University. Then we have another big event coming up in May. It's our Solution Summit. And then, of course, the biggie, the granddaddy of them all, is our annual dinner event.
At the Grand.
At the Grand, exactly. Coming up in October. So we'll talk about that in a second. But the first thing we want to do is talk about our Young Professionals event.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's up, girl?
So who doesn't love a debate, right?
Yeah.
So
when it's a real debate, though.
And it's on a college campus. So it's going to be titled, What is the Right Direction for America? More Government versus Less Government. And we're bringing in 2 nationally known speakers. First, debating more government will be Zach Carter. He's a senior political economist at Huffington Post. And he will be paired with Michael Treelevin, Dr. Michael Treelevin from GU. He's a professor there. And so they're going to team up and they're going to face off national speaker Tim Carney. He's a political economist at American Enterprise Institute.
Okay.
And he will be paired with Dr. Hackney from GU. He's a professor of business. So we're going to be tackling a couple subjects: college tuition, climate change, healthcare, environment, and also
well, and just
taxation.
one of the things that you talked about, college tuition, there's so much out there today. I want it free, and yet there are costs on campus, there are professors that you pay, administration, and all the other things. How does that get paid if it's free, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
you have to practically take out a mortgage just to pay to go to college. I mean, it's so expensive. So you got college tuition, minimum wage, taxation, our overall well-being. We're going to be tackling all these issues on Monday, April 23rd in Hemmingson at Gonzaga. It's open to the public. This isn't just for young professionals. I mean, all of these issues, other than perhaps college tuition.
I'm hoping the media will show up too.
Yeah, the media is going to show up. Nadine Woodward of KXLY is going to moderate the debate. And we're getting a lot of people, not only on campus but off campus, registering for this event. It's going to be a huge event, a great opportunity for people to come out and really get a sense of what should be the direction that we're heading in the country. Should we be in the direction of more government, adding on to what we already have, or less government? And they really are two ideologically diverse points of view.
That often gets shouted at each other.
They do.
You know, and we don't have an honest debate or discussion.
Exactly.
Well, and you ask young people nowadays, you know, what kind of a direction do you think the country should be heading in? And a lot of the young people say, you know, in the more socialist direction.
Yes.
So it will be really interesting to see what young people think, not only before the debate, but also after the debate, after they hear both points of view, because a lot of folks on campus, particularly young people, they say, you know, I don't really get the opportunity to hear both sides.
Right.
On not only Gonzaga's campus, but on every college campus. I always hear one
it's
side,
one
but
side
not
or the
side.
other by themselves.
Right, exactly. So this will be a great opportunity.
That's
People
great.
can register online. It's free. It's open to the public, no cost.
Okay.
And again, it's on Monday, April 23rd at Gonzaga. So a great event.
Okay, so where do people go? Best place to go to register?
WashingtonPolicy.org is the website.
Okay, great.
And then they can just go to our events tab and it will be right there.
Yep.
Well, imagine that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, what comes after that?
All right, so that's the first one. Second one is our Solution Summit, which is in May. This is a half-day policy conference. I mean, it really is the bread and butter of what we do at WPC. It's the opportunity for people to come and hear about many of our different research topics. You know, most people know about Washington Policy Center. They know about our 8 different research centers that we have at the organization. This gives you the opportunity to come and have breakfast and lunch, and in between those two events, get an opportunity to go to different research center sessions. And so at that event, which is...
will you have all 8 covered? Or?
We're not going to do all 8. It's just a lot to cover. Exactly. But we're going to pick out 4 of them for that day, which will be labor reform, education, agriculture, and taxes.
Okay.
So those are the 4 we'll be covering. And we'll have the opportunity to hear from Mark Janis, who's actually the Illinois state worker who is suing to turn the entire country essentially right to work. So
am I smiling?
Most people don't
enough?
know about this case, but if you are a government worker right now, you are probably required to pay union dues or face the possibility that you could be fired. Well, Mark Janis and other people who have sued before him is trying to get that overturned. So you have a choice. You can choose to be part of the union if you want to, or you can choose not to be part of the union. And that case right now is before the U.S. Supreme Court. Well, he's going to be coming to Spokane on Wednesday, May 23rd for our Solution Summit. We'll have other speakers coming as well, and then we'll have a keynote luncheon with Scott Rasmussen of Rasmussen Reports.
Yes.
Rasmussen Reports is really the only national polling firm that pretty much got the 2016 election right. No other polling firm got it that close. So he'll be coming. He's also the co-founder of ESPN.
Okay.
He's got a new book coming out as well. So he's got some pretty interesting insight into
be
what
fun.
could be happening in the 2018 election. So he'll be speaking at lunch, and then we'll, like I said, have a bunch of speakers.
How do people register? What's the cost?
Same thing as for the debate, WashingtonPolicy.org on the event page. And people can register either for the lunch or for the entire conference.
Okay.
And for college students, this event is free.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
So can they let 71-year-old guys back into college?
Unfortunately, I don't think it'll work.
Do I get a senior discount or over the hill discount?
You can go on. There are a bunch of different registration options for you. So I don't know about. I haven't checked to see if there's a senior discount.
I know. I'm just giving you a bad time. Okay. So those are great spring events.
Yeah, spring events.
But then we spring into fall.
Yeah,
with the biggie.
The biggie. Yeah.
You have owned the downtown Grand Hotel for these events the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, before you announce who it is, talk about a couple of the folks that you've had recently.
Right. We had General Mattis, the Secretary of Defense.
He's got a minor role somewhere in the administration,
right.
doesn't he?
Yeah, Secretary of Defense. And we had Dr. Krauthammer.
Yes.
Who blew the doors off the place with his speech. We had Nigel Farage of the European Union last year.
Right.
We've had John Bolton, who's now the National Security Advisor for the President.
Yes.
So we've had great speakers come to our annual dinner events in the past few years. And so October 24th will be the annual dinner this year, again at the Davenport Grand. Again, we're expecting probably somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 people.
You basically fill out the room.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the biggest event of the year that is hosted at the Grand. And for good reason. I mean, because we bring in the top-notch speakers.
Absolutely.
So this year, we're pleased to announce that General David Petraeus, the former CIA commander, or CIA director, I should say, and commander of U.S. forces in Iraq and Afghanistan during the Iraq surge, during the Afghanistan surge as well, will be our keynote speaker. One of the keynote speakers. We'll also be announcing another one.
Yes.
So we always like to have two. We'll be announcing another speaker here shortly, but General Petraeus has agreed to join us, and it should be a terrific event. And tickets are on sale right now. People can register their tickets and tables, but it sells out pretty quickly. There's always a networking event that many people have told me is one of the best networking events they've ever been to because there's just so many people and the energy is so great in the room. And I know you've had the opportunity to be at the event before as well. And
it's great. I think back to listening to John Bolton. I think back to Mattis and his comments, and he stands up there with virtually no notes to speak of and talks about what we're facing, and to hear that, I mean, I walked away very charged, and to know where he is now, to know that intellect is there in the administration, it puts me at ease to know that here we are. And with Bolton in there now, too, I think we've got a couple good people.
And sometimes you go to an event like this and you get into the room and you kind of feel like the room is just kind of hollow and dead.
No.
I have never felt like that at an event like this. For whatever reason, and, you know, I hate to toot our own horn, but
no, you don't.
The annual dinner events are just terrific in terms of their energy, the speakers, the quality of the people in the room. Everybody has a terrific time.
It is the event to go to.
And the Davenport Grand staff does a terrific job as well.
I've told you this many times, I think, because your organization does one on the west side as well, or sometimes called the wet side. And it looks like and seems like, if you look back over the last few years, that we've outdone in terms of who the speakers are here in Eastern Washington.
There's kind of been a soft rivalry going on between the two.
Yes. So way to go. This is great. This is the event to go to. Actually, all three of them are. I think there's merit in going to all three. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Don't stay back at the office all the time. Come visit us.
I
okay?
will.
Well, and the annual dinner events, just to clarify, Miranda and the Young Professionals group as well, they get probably 10 or almost a dozen tables. They'll probably have a dozen tables this year.
Wow.
Of young professionals who go to the annual dinner events as well.
For free.
Yeah.
For free.
Yes, people sponsored them to come.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she'll be working on young professionals tables this year, trying to get the young professionals involved. And we have Gonzaga tables, WSU tables, other tables as well.
Great.
of young folks.
Yeah, there
attending.
is an awful lot of energy in that room.
Yeah.
There is no doubt. So, well, great. Thank you, both of you, for
Thank
coming
you.
today and keeping us up to date. Some great things coming down the line. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
For the Inland Northwest most comprehensive sports report, think outside the porch with Spokesman.com. For just 99 cents for the first month, you'll enjoy unlimited digital access to the news and sports news that affect you most. From EWU to WSU, from Northwest Preps all the way to the Seahawks, we're the local authority that makes sports in the Inland Northwest different than the rest, better than the rest. On your phone, on your desktop, and on your tablet. Subscribe to the digital experience with Spokesman.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. Lively discussion so far, and let's continue with that. And Tom Konis. Do I have that right?
That's correct.
Did I pronounce it right?
You did. You
All
did.
right.
Very good.
Thank goodness you don't have one of these crazy names that, with Adams, it's got to be simple and straightforward,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, it used to be Pechakonis. My father's family was from Lithuania.
Okay.
And immigrated here.
Okay.
And they shortened it in the 50s.
Oh, thank goodness.
Made it so much easier for me in kindergarten to learn how to write my name.
Absolutely. We've got a fellow, Tim, and I can't remember his last name, and he says, I've lived with it. He's 19. He said, I've lived with it throughout high school and junior high and everything. And when they go around the room the first day of school and they go to Tim, and he said, that's me.
It's good enough.
Yeah, just close enough, yeah. You're looking at replacing Vicki Horton,
Absolutely.
who's retiring,
Yes,
right?
she is.
Right.
Yes, she is.
Now she's been our county assessor for how many years?
8 years.
8 years,
Yes,
okay.
This is her
so
second term.
time for her to step back and relax and have a little time off and all of that. And you work in the office, right?
I do.
So-
I've worked in the office since 1993.
Ah, okay. So what is your job there now?
Right now, I am the commercial industrial appraiser for Spokane County.
Okay.
I'm responsible for...
So I don't have to blame you for my home.
I don't do your house. I don't do Grandma's house. No. I do all of downtown.
Okay.
I do all
Okay.
of the major industrial properties.
Okay.
Kaiser, Triumph, Goodrich,
okay.
things like that.
Yeah.
All of the hospitals, all of the major medical buildings. And there's, for fun, then I do Northtown and the Valley Mall also, just to keep me busy. But yeah, I'm responsible for a little over 10% of the total assessed value of the county.
Oh, wow. Okay. How many assessors are there in the office doing what you're doing between commercial and industrial and homes?
There's 21 out of the 43 total employees that we have.
Oh, okay. And I'm guessing you're out there quite a bit, aren't you?
We are. We're required by law. All of our rules are basically dictated us through the RCWs and enforced through the Department of Revenue.
Okay.
We're required by law to look at 1/6 of the county every year.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then we are an annual county, meaning we can change values every year now.
Okay.
And that changed about 24 years ago,
Yeah.
about the time I came on. And so we statistically update the remaining 5-6 every year.
Now, when you say that, I'm learning here. That's because there's a appreciation of value and so forth, kind of the economy and what's happened in industrial property and commercial properties. I would assume that you've established it for 1 year and then 6 years later you're back, but in the interim it's based on some kind of percentage, based on how things are going.
Exactly.
Where do those numbers come from?
Most of the larger properties we do on an income approach.
Okay.
And I have a relationship enough with the tax representative.
Okay.
That actually we update their income and expense stuff annually.
Oh, okay, okay.
It just makes it so much nicer than if you, in the old days we were a 4-year cycle, so the values couldn't change for those other 3 years, and it made for sometimes a substantial increase on one-time things. So this way it just kind of moves up and down depending on
I was going to
the
say,
market.
Does it come down?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
because
I've been through a couple of cycles now where it's
so it
gone
depends
down.
on probably that business's economic status and where things are going a lot too.
To a point, but really what we're valuing is the brick and mortar.
Okay.
We're not valuing like Sears or Pennies or those kind of things. Their revenue.
Okay.
We're more valuing what a landlord can receive in rent for that space.
Okay. And I'm asking a lot of questions because I like to know these things. When things go down, what causes that to go down? XYZ business and location that you're evaluating, what would cause that to go down?
Couple of things. Just the general economy, of course.
Okay.
If in fact the retail sector wasn't feeling comfortable enough, they weren't renting space, there's a lot of vacant space, and that would make that drop. In Kaiser's case, it was based on their production and things like that. The same thing with Triumph at times has gone up and down depending on how their contracts are going.
Okay. So if they have a flat year, then they can expect some kind of stable.
Yeah, and commercial property, as opposed to residential property, doesn't move either way at that rapid of a pace typically.
Okay. Does residential?
Residential is amazing right now.
I was going to say, the guys and gals that are doing that can't update it fast enough, can they?
That's correct.
You know?
Last year when we finished our reevaluation, we were at 96% of the sales prices on average.
Okay.
The last report we ran last week, we're now at 78% of the current sales.
Okay.
So things are moving up 12 to 15% right now.
So when I get my assessment that says, I'm just picking a number out of the sky, $250,000 home, what is that? Is that really $275,000, $300,000? Is there?
You know, we are supposed to be at 100% of market value.
Okay.
But we are typically on more the conservative side of that.
I was going to say, I've never really seen it up where in some cases it's been evaluated for a mortgage or something like that, where sometimes they'll get as much as they can, you know, that kind of thing.
Well, we have about 1,100 people that would tend to differ with you because they all filed appeals this year saying their values were too high.
Well, let's not even go there. Okay. I mean, I look at it and go, okay, when I go to sell, but then when I go to buy, you can pay for it one way or the other, don't you?
Yeah. One way or the other.
Okay, what makes it unique for you in terms of, thanks for the lessons. I learned a lot. It's not one of those things I think you normally talk to someone from the assessor's office, unless you've got a
problem.
Yeah. What unique skills do you bring to this?
I think my communication and my team building skills more than anything else,
Okay.
As well as 24 years of doing the job.
Yeah.
I know not just my job, but everyone else's job around me, including the gals that process the senior exemption, the people that do the current use and open space exemption programs, our segregation department, our personal property department. I've worked closely with all of those people throughout this time.
Okay. So this is your very first election,
isn't it? Yes, it is.
Do you feel like you've been hibernating and just stuck your head out and waiting for someone to pound you on the head?
I definitely do. I feel like the little whack-a-mole at times. And it's also, though, exciting because everything I'm doing now is the first for me.
Yes.
Including a program like this.
Why not, though?
It's so much fun.
Not? Yeah.
It's kind of a kick.
Well,
after just going in and doing my job and going home, to have an opportunity to meet a lot of neat new people.
Right. What, other than being there for, what did you say, 24 years?
24 years, yeah, 24 and a half.
And all of that, what led you to say, I can do that, and raise your hand and stick your head out of the mole hole, if you will?
I actually went to Vicki because I knew her chief deputy was thinking of retiring.
Oh, okay.
And in a year or two.
Okay.
And I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring for that position, to be her assistant.
Right.
And she basically said, no, you can't have his job because I want you to have mine.
Okay.
That's how it all
That's
transpired.
How you, really?
Absolutely. So I had to go
Were
home.
you as surprised as you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I had to go home and really talk it over with my wife a lot, because we've been married, it'll be 40 years on June 10th. I don't do anything that doesn't go past her.
Oh, gosh, yes. Not if we want to live.
That's right. I like to eat, too, and she's a great cook.
All right. Yeah, mine is, too. Okay. That's great. Well, you're forming a committee. You're getting out there. Primary season is coming up. What is it? We're about a month away from
the filing.
And all of that. What have you learned in the last couple of weeks that you just had no idea? Moving into the political side of things, because you haven't been in the political side.
Not at all.
At all, yeah.
No. I've learned I have a great group of friends.
Oh, good.
That are really, really
That's
pushing
nice.
me and helping me.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a good core group of retired gentlemen that are out there putting up signs during the day and lining up places for me to go talk and things to that effect.
Does that just make your day or what?
Oh, it makes my heart just sing.
Yeah.
Absolutely it does.
Yeah.
Because I work full-time for the county, and it's against the law for me to campaign during county time. It's also not fair to the taxpayers of the county if I'm not doing my job.
Right.
And that's why I'm here on my lunchtime.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Tom, I wish you the best. It's fun to see someone step out from the safety of 24 and a half years of doing a job and say, I can do that. And that's kind of fun to see somebody do that. So best of luck to you and all that, okay?
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it.
Sure
I appreciate your time.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you soon.
I hope so.
All right, thanks. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about sex education in our schools right after this.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
To find the right home for you, you'll work with your realtor to compare the properties you're interested in, analyze the market, and figure out a reasonable offer price. And now, here you are, ready to make an offer. Yay, you! Here's how it works. First, you'll complete an offer sheet which your realtor will then present to the owner. Sometimes, a nice note to the owner can help your offer stand out. Butter them up. Tell them how much you love their garden, that it reminds you of gardening with your grandmother as a child. Do not mention you're gonna bulldoze it and put in a pool. The owner may accept the offer, reject it, or counter. It's important to be in close contact with your realtor during the negotiation process so any changes can be reviewed. Your realtor is like your consigliere, and that makes you the Don. Once your offer is finally accepted, there are usually some contingencies that must be met in order to keep the contract alive. Inspections are totally common in real estate transactions. They include termite checks, surveys to determine boundaries, appraisals to determine value for lenders, title reviews, and structural inspections. This stuff is mind-numbingly fascinating. But you know what's even more fascinating? Actually getting your new house.
Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. Joanne Hyatt, right?
Yes, sir.
And just at the end of the commercial, I was asking, do I look at the camera or do I look at you? And I said, look at me, but, you know, it's kind of like laughing, like try not to laugh. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
A couple months back? It
has been, I
3
think,
or 4 months.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's good to be back. Thank you.
Good to have you. We invited you back because one of the things I've learned is that what's going to get the title right? Human
Growth and Development Committee for District 81.
Yeah. They're meeting tomorrow?
They're meeting tomorrow to vote on the proposed curriculum that the district gave them to look at, and then from there it will go back to the school board for a vote.
Okay. Now, they've taken a step back for a while when people raised holy hell.
Yep.
But now it looks like they're probably going to move forward again.
Yes.
I'm not sure that they say they listened, but they didn't take much action.
I mean, what they did is they, instead of using one total Planned Parenthood curriculum, they have now come up with a combination of curriculum that is Planned Parenthood, because it's the original curriculum they were looking at.
Right.
Another choice that Planned Parenthood has indirectly been involved with, and then a third component, which is district developed. So now you have a mashup of curriculums that still don't satisfy us. And surprisingly, Planned Parenthood doesn't like it either, though for very different reasons.
Yeah, because they want it all to be theirs.
They want it all to be theirs. They think there's not enough LGBTQ inclusivity, which to read the curriculum would dispute that, and that it's not able to be taught to teachers and things like that.
You know, I get a kick out of this, and this will irritate some people out there, but I don't care. That, you know, there's this whole thing about who am I in terms of sex and so forth, and apparently now you can be what you want to be, even on your birth certificate, I guess, and some other things. And a lot of times these are the same folks who talk about climate change and look to science. Okay, I just got back my DNA from Ancestry.
Oh,
okay, which is kind of interesting. It didn't tell me sex, but I think I can figure that one out. But I mean, it told me background and so forth. There is nothing that I know of that I can do to change my DNA.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Am I wrong about the same thing in terms of my sex organs and everything else? That who I am is who I am?
Right.
Okay? I might want to be and think I'm somebody else, but the fact is you don't make that change.
Well, we acknowledge that there might be confusion around that, there might be questions, but that those are best handled really with parental involvement involved. And what this curriculum is seeking to do is to separate the parental involvement. And, you know, it says we give a handout, but really how much is a parent going to know about what's being discussed about gender identity and this idea of fluidity and any sort of lifestyle is acceptable as long as there's consent and condoms. Like, that's not good enough for my kids, and I don't think it should be good enough for other parents' kids.
Well, and apparently a lot of young people don't know how to use condoms. You can see them snorting the condoms.
I saw that video.
Give me a break. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Okay, there are several things that I've seen that, in my mind, are very disturbing, and that we as parents and now as grandparents ought to be aware of. What are a couple of those?
I think one, as a parent, what's concerning to me is that marriage is never discussed and never promoted as the best choice. You know, that sense of monogamy, that, you know, what are
safest choice.
Safest choice, the best choice, and not just for a kid's body, but for their mind and their heart. You know, when we talk about sex and sexuality, it needs to discuss the whole person.
Right.
We're not just aiming to make sure a kid doesn't get pregnant or doesn't get an STD.
Right.
Two very important things.
Yes,
but we should understand this is a central part to who an individual is and handle it accordingly. And we're not promoting anything out there saying this is what you're aiming for. There's no actual and accurate statistics about condom failure rates, to your point, when it comes to STIs and STDs. And abstinence, although it was commented recently to me, somebody said, it's amazing how you can have a curriculum talk so much about abstinence and yet say nothing about it. It doesn't promote it as the healthiest choice. It doesn't really help a kid understand why you might choose this or how to defend this. And there's no real distinction between a person's respecting a person and respecting kind of their lifestyle and choices. And I would say there's a difference. It's okay to not agree with somebody. If somebody chooses to be sexually active, whether, you know, with multiple partners, with one, same sex, different sex. But how do we teach kids to respect each other as individuals and yet be able to have good dialogue about differences? And the curriculum doesn't do that. It really pushes sexual activity as normative.
What steps can we as parents and grandparents take
with our kids and grandkids.
Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, one is, excuse me, to engaging your kids, obviously, on these conversations.
Right.
Parents have the greatest influence, and I want to encourage parents in that. Talk to your kids, as awkward as it is. But also
But the fact is, over history, that hasn't been done very well.
Right. And it's not been done very well. And so we're wanting to encourage parents to engage with their kids. But understand, too, we expect that this curriculum will probably get adopted. But we're going to do all that we can to make it known that there is a sizable portion of the Spokane community that does not like it. So if parents are able to show up either tomorrow night at the school board meeting or in 2 weeks at the school board meeting to comment and just let their voices be heard, you can review the curriculum down at the school board if you want to take a look at what is actually being considered. And then if and when this gets adopted, be prepared to take your child out of the sex ed class.
So you can do that.
Yes, you can opt your kid out, and we would encourage that, because if there's a lot of parents pulling their kids out, the district will have to pay attention. But don't be naive to the fact that just because you pulled your kid out doesn't mean all their friends aren't still hearing about it. Which is why we want to do all that we can to create opportunities for parents to educate their kids so that your kid who's been pulled out of the program is actually the most informed child when it comes to healthy sex and sexuality.
How much of this, even though there's this committee and task force, how much of this is being driven, do you think, by District 81 administration?
From what we can tell, it seems a sizable portion.
I was guessing, but
I'm not on the Human Growth and Development Committee. There are a couple of individuals that are, Jason Susnick and John Repsol. They have a better sense of that. But it seems there's really a push. We want to adopt this. We want to get teachers trained and get it into the classrooms.
That would be not only this issue, but on so many others with the school district. That would be my ongoing for decades now in this town, because that's where I've really watched the school board take action. That's often the case, that it's coming from top administrators down, and they sell it to the board, who then essentially rubber stamps it. It would be nice to see our school board step up and say, whoa, let's take a look at this.
But it might actually be coming from our school board saying, we want to get this thing through because we have OSPI requirements that we adopted from the state, so now we got to find a way to fill it. I mean, we acknowledge that our sex education needs to be updated. Just what we're using to update is not going to be the best choice, I think, for our kids, for our families. And I think if most parents knew what was in it, they would not be happy, regardless of your political affiliation or any of that.
Yeah, I don't see it as politics. I see it as parenting.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean, that's what it comes down to. How can people get more information about what this is really about?
Yeah, they can email me.
Going to the school board.
Yes, going to the school board.
Of course, but
going to the meeting. They can email me directly, and I can give them. We've gone through and actually looked at the curriculum that's being proposed 4th through 9th, and we have summaries. I'm happy to share that. So Joanna at JoannaHyatt.com is the best place to go, and I'll direct them to who and what they need.
Great.
So,
will you keep us posted on this?
Absolutely.
Maybe come back in a couple weeks.
Yes, I would love to.
And let's talk about.
I would love to.
Because I think you're right. It's probably going to get passed.
Yep.
I mean, you have to live in the reality of what things are. But then let's talk about it, and maybe let's talk about what we as parents and grandparents can do now that it's passed, and kind of move forward in a positive way.
Thank you so much for giving us a
Good
chance.
to see you.
Yes,
all right.
Good to
Thanks
see you
for coming
again.
in.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. Tomorrow we have a special program. Perhaps you've been watching. If you've been on our Facebook page at all, you know that John Reed, who has been 75 years at the Davenport Hotel, has welcomed people. He is the guy in the red coat that opens the door for you. He's the guy, what I remember most, with the smile. Mr. Davenport, probably no one more important than Mr. Davenport himself. We're going to talk with the manager of the Davenport Hotel and the former communications person of the hotel, Tom MacArthur, tomorrow. And we're going to spend a few minutes talking about John's impact on so many of us in Spokane. That beautiful fixture, that smile down there is no longer there, but it's up here in our brains. So join us tomorrow for that program. In the meantime, have a great day.
Spokane Talks Live is produced in Spokane, Washington by Spokane Talks Online, LLC, which is solely responsible for its content. To recommend a guest or topic, or to see this program again, please visit our website, SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Join us next Wednesday, noon, for another nourishing conversation on Spokane Talks Live.